It's time for Coffee on the Coast. Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge. Welcome back to the show, Tim Gadzinski of the Manitowoc Public Library. We are going to be talking about a pretty cool and intellectual series that you've got coming up. This has been going on an annual basis. We're talking great decisions. Tim, what year is this that you've been doing great decisions?
You mean overall, right? Because
Overall.
this is personally my 6th year of being involved, but it has been going for 15 years. It's our 15th anniversary this year.
Oh, this is awesome. You know what? Let's tell people what Great Decisions is. I've got this graphic, and if you want to
Mhm.
tell us a little more, but I think it's important that people recognize that it's a project of the Foreign Policy Association.
Exactly, and as you can read on your screen, it's a grassroots program, and the whole impetus behind the program was to make American citizens more aware of what global situations were happening, so that they understood how what seemed like far-flung situations and you know upheavals and happenings aren't really that far away in the world, that they do impact their daily lives. And the more that you know about it, the better equipped you are to move through your day-to-day life as an American citizen. It grew out of the League of Nations days is actually when the Foreign Policy Association started. And then about 30 years later, they never broke up, but that's when the Great Decisions program started rolling. And the Foreign Policy Association puts out topics every year, and then different small groups uh, decide to go ahead and do the lecture series. For example, here, Darlene Wellner and a friend of hers from the League of Women Voters were inspired 16 years ago by the Great Decisions program in Fond du Lac. And they thought it was great that, in Fond du Lac, there were approximately 75 to 100 people coming to each lecture and learning more about the world and how the world comes to them, because it is, as Walt Disney said, a small world. But I think our presentation's a lot better and not nearly as creepy as the Small World ride at Walt Disney. But and now
That
that
is a creepy ride. Okay.
oh, it is, and it goes on forever. If the only reason to go on it is if you're hot. It's just total darkness for a while, but then it
Noted.
starts to creep you out. But the Fond du Lac program that I brought up doesn't exist anymore. They've stopped doing it, and now it's interesting that the Manitowoc program is really one of the um, it's one of the like leading programs in the state, because the lecturers do tend to work, a lot of them, and they always say our attendance is better, that we do the full series, we do all 8 topics. And even St. Norbert's and UWGB, they only do 4 to 6 topics a year. But kudos to Darlene Wellner and Kathy Fishbeck and Marilyn Sontag. They're the core group that organizes getting the speakers for the topics, and they do a phenomenal job. And they've been doing it since I've been involved with it. And
Okay, so this is cool because you're saying it's not happening in a bubble. This is something that is happening across the nation potentially if there are, motivated and smart folks like the ladies you just mentioned bringing it
mhm,
to the forefront. And then it's led by scholars and it's, this knowledgeable discussion and sharing of ideas about a topic. I'm going to put the topics back up
sure,
because this starts February 7th, so that's next week. Tell us a
yep.
little bit about some of these topics that you're tackling.
Well, next Monday night, I mean, as you can read, they're all very pertinent, immediate topics. They aren't things that happened in the past exclusively and that we can look at with a scholarly eye. They are things that are evolving and happening right now. If you jump to like March 7th, who knows exactly what the Russia and the U.S. discussion will be about with Lowell Barrington, because that situation is extremely fluid. So it's something that we're in the middle of history right now. And Lowell Barrington, he is a new speaker that's coming to us from Marquette University. I believe Kathy found him out through another source. But that's what's great about all these topics. They are pertinent and they are immediate and they are happening right now. February 14th, I should point out, Biden's agenda with Beth Doherty, who is a returning speaker. She's been here a lot, and she is fantastic. And she will be focused because Biden's agenda is a pretty broad topic. And so she's going to hit some key points, but what she's going to focus on is the Biden administration's policies in Afghanistan, in the Middle East. So that's what that one is about specifically. Martin Farrell doing the Quad Alliance, which is, for people who don't know, that's Japan, Australia, the United States, and South Korea, and how they are approaching relations with China. But Marty Farrell has been with us every year since the very beginning. He has presented, and he's now a retired professor emeritus from not Beloit College, Ripon College, excuse me. And then they're all great topics. Climate change, that's going to be phenomenal. Outer space with Ken Phillips. Ken Phillips is actually the curator of the aerospace section of the California Science Center. He's the person who's responsible for bringing the decommissioned Endeavour space shuttle to the Science Center as its permanent home. So if you went there, you can take a tour of the space shuttle, but he's going to be presenting on outer space. And I also hooked him in by saying, Sputnik crashed here. And but I got in touch with him because I was at a brunch with him approximately 20 years ago. And and he remembered me from the brunch. I'm like, so do you want to do an online presentation? And he said yes right away. I didn't succeed with who I originally went after, and I knew I was aiming too high. I flew too close to the sun and crashed. I went for Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it didn't work out. I know, but they did get back in touch with me. It's just his appearance fee. It's a little loftier.
If there are any sponsors out there that would like to see a program at the Manitowoc Public Library with Neil deGrasse Tyson, just get in touch with Tim Gadzinski and you can make it happen.
Yeah, I know a guy.
So, he knows a guy.
So we can make it happen. But it really is fantastic, the speakers they get. And we have, I think 5 of the 8 are returning speakers, and we have 3 new speakers. The person speaking on Myanmar is with the Center for East Asian Studies in Madison, at UW-Madison, and so she is going to be fantastic. And I love doing this program. I absolutely love being involved with it.
It looks like a person can participate and watch all of these online, and then there are a select few where they can actually participate in person. Mm-hmm. But all of them are available online, right?
All of them are available online. If do you have a graphic that you could pop up that shows the schedule again? Because it does say, and it does say on the specific topics which ones are online only. And we encourage you, because with the pandemic, it's a very fluid situation. Some of the ones that are slated to be in person, it could change, at the drop of a hat. So check back to our Facebook page, library's Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Manitowoc Library. But all of the events can be watched either on our Facebook page, as it says here, or our YouTube channel. And that is being live streamed, including the lectures that are in person. They will be live streaming in real time. So if you want to participate, if you have questions and you're following along and you want to either, have me read a comment or get a question to the presenter, just type it into your comment section and I can get it to them right in the room as it's happening. So this is the first time we've tried the hybrid method of presenting to a limited audience, where I would encourage people, especially if they're interested in the drug policy in Latin America program. That's the first one. That's next Monday. Go and sign up. Go to the Facebook, the easiest way. Let me throw another URL out there, which just go to the library's website, which is www.manitowoclibrary.org/great-decisions. And that is the landing page for the Great Decisions program. It gives you all the topics, all the speakers, gives you a brief synopsis of kind of what they'll be covering. Plus, it allows you to go to the Eventbrite page and register. But there is only uh, 50 seats available for the in-person attendance this time. Normally we set up, around 200 chairs, and normally it's pretty full, but we're erring on the side of caution and safety. Masks aren't required; they are strongly suggested, but everyone's going to be spaced out. But we will be live streaming it, and we did a dry run today, just to make sure that we had a firm grasp on being able to do it live and online at the same time. And anyone who followed along last year, it's going to be a very similar experience, except the speakers won't be sitting at a desk in their home office or their parents' basement. Honestly, someone was doing it from their parents' basement last year in Michigan, and it was a great
Cool.
lecture. But they'll we're going to have the camera focused on them, but you'll be able to see the PowerPoint very clearly because I'll be handling that on a separate platform. But you'll be able to
Awesome.
watch it and catch all of it.
So let's just confirm this. So if a person wants to attend in person, registration is required, and that link is now right here. Take a look.
Hmm.
Go ahead. If you want to watch it live streamed, there's no registration required, and you can do that anywhere you've got internet access.
Absolutely correct.
And this event, the very first one is February 7th, and then it's on Mondays through March 28th, a different topic each Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Does that sound about right?
That is exactly right. That is perfectly stated.
Awesome. Thank you.
And you do have one thing. You do need to register for each live event separately. So let's say you wanted to go to the U.S. drug policy in Latin America and Russia and the U.S. You need to register for them separately.
Makes sense.
All of them need, yeah. That way, those two are filling up quickly. So if you're interested, I highly recommend heading to that landing page and registering.
And then tell us too about this briefing book that's available.
Yes, the briefing book is a companion publication that covers all the topics that are in the Great Decisions lecture series. Every year, there's a book that matches the topics that are being presented. These books are available at the main service desk at Manitowoc Public Library, and they're available for purchase for $15, cash or check only, and that is underwritten by the Manitowoc Public the Manitowoc Public Library Foundation. I think they have always been $15 or in that neighborhood. So they underwrite it so that they're affordable to people that are interested in it. It's a great companion piece, and it gives you a breadth and knowledge of the information heading into the lecture, so that
And it's
you're
not
absolutely
required.
prepared.
Not required, but it's a bonus, like a bonus benefit, right?
Absolutely, it is not required. If you wanted to there is a brochure that also lays out the speakers and the topics and a brief synopsis of what they'll be covering. That's available at the library too. That's absolutely free of charge. You can just pop into the library, pick one up, and be on your merry way, or check out everything else that we have to offer. But the companion publication, definitely not a requirement, but it is available for $15 should you want to delve a bit deeper into the subject before you show up for the lecture, either online or in person.
And I think that brochure that you referenced, so not this book, but just the simplified summary brochure, I think that's also available at this link.
It is. You can
Nice.
download it. This is on the lovely glossy paper. So it looks really sweet. But yes, this is the brochure, and these, are the topics.
Very nice. Cool. And we should really thank these organizations for making this happen.
Absolutely. These organizations and groups are what keeps the wheels of great decisions turning. The League of Women Voters in Manitowoc County, the Manitowoc Public Library Foundation, as I mentioned, the Manitowoc Public Library, the Lakeshore Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and Lakeshore Pax Christi.
And I feel like not every community has this available. And so, once again, we're just so lucky here on the coolest coast to have the Manitowoc Public Library kind of leading the charge on this access to knowledge and these greater world topics. And like you said, these are transpiring in real time.
Hmm. Yeah, and it is fantastic that we have it here. I have to say that when my family and I moved back to Manitowoc, which was approximately 15 years ago, um, I had no knowledge that this was going on. I had no idea that the Great Decisions lecture series was happening. And when I came to work at the library, um, my second week of work, our public service manager grabbed me and she's like, "Hey, you're going to help out with Great Decisions." I'm like, "Great, what's that?" And I had no idea. And that's where I met the people, that I've been working with for the past 6 years. They're such a good bunch to the way they put this together. But I kind of took it upon myself, like, people have got to know about this. I don't want to hide it away. I want as many people to know about it as possible. And the interesting thing is that with the pivot that we made to doing it online and virtual last year, much like yourselves, this, I remember when Coffee on the Coast was something, I went to in person, but when we did it virtually, our audience actually expanded. It didn't contract. And our attendance is up because now you don't even have to leave home to partake in these lectures and participate with people that are just experts on the topic. And throughout the year, I 2 weeks ago, I was still getting requests. Did I say requests right, or did I mispronounce that? But I get people emailing me to get the PowerPoint presentations, which people can do after the lectures. We're cleared with the
Oh,
people that give the lectures to pass along their PowerPoints, and we get requests for them all the time. I mean, they're still coming in, and I've sent them as far away as Australia and Germany, and so it's amazing that a program in a relatively small town in Wisconsin is impacting people's lives around the world because the organizational body took the time to put it together and to put it together right so that it's sustainable, and it's now kind of a model program within the state of how to do it right.
oh, that's fantastic. And it's remarkable to have access to these scholarly experts on these topics, right?
Hmm.
Like, I'm just going to throw that up one more time. When else would you get a chance to participate in a dialogue with Kenneth Phillips talking about outer space, right? Or any of these other
Right.
experts that are listed on this list?
Well, and there, Kenneth Phillips is in California, but Elise Cohen, who is presenting the third week here, I believe she lives in Sheboygan, but she's at UWGB, and the Manitowoc campus, the Sheboygan campus, and the Green Bay campus, and she's phenomenal. She is a great presenter, and as Darlene said the other day when we were talking about, she said, you're really getting a master's class that you don't have to pay for on all these topics. And
Yeah.
that's another thing I guess we should mention. I think people know, but it's free. It doesn't
Right.
cost a thing if you watch online, or if you get a spot to see it in person at the library. It doesn't cost you a dime. And even if people get the wrong impression that that this is like a massively liberal presentation, and it's not. It's completely bipartisan. It's about knowledge of the situation. It's not about playing politics. Even with the Biden's agenda, it's not about a political stance. It's about the actual meat and bones of what's happening. It doesn't lean liberal. And if you come to the discussions, if you participate, I get to moderate the discussions, and I like it. I love it. I actually love it when people get like a bit heated in their conversations. And the only rule that I state is be respectful and let people finish and listen to what they're saying. Because even if you don't agree with them, you're going to learn something, whether it's about a different point of view on the stance or why they believe in something that you don't. You're going to learn more about people. And that's what's great about the series, period, is that when you understand situations and you don't look at things as propaganda, then you see that there are people that are inside these situations, and it gives you a better understanding of the world. And it's not just a blanket thing. It's not They're not cogs in a machine. There are people that are making these things happen. And I think that's what's kind of one of the most wonderful things about it.
Oh, such an important point, Tim. Yes, and civil discourse too, being the rule of the day. What a great opportunity to learn not only for yourself, but to learn about others, to just learn the many facets of a topic and
Hmm.
things that go into them that perhaps we haven't heard or weren't aware of. It's just such a great way to expand our worldview.
Yeah, definitely. The very worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to come away with a more in-depth knowledge of a topic. And if that's the worst thing, just show up at the library or tune into Facebook or YouTube. You're not going to be disappointed because you're going to know more about the world than you did at 5:59 p.m. on a Monday.
That's so awesome. Yep, we're talking about Great Decisions. It is a lecture and discussion series hosted by the Manitowoc Public Library. It is Mondays, 6 to 8 p.m., starting February 7th, running through March 28th. A great list of topics. I'm just going to put them up one more time. They are all available online with a select few available in person too, but registration is required for those. One more time, here is the Facebook page where you can view the live stream and also the YouTube channel. And I'm also going to put up that library registration link where you can register if you want to attend in person. And then if you are interested in one of the briefing books, those are available for purchase at the Manitowoc Public Library itself.
That covers it.
That
You
is
did it.
awesome.
You did an awesome job yet again of getting out all the pertinent information. So
Thanks.
people,
Well, I
don't let Tina's efforts go for naught. Whoever sees this, show up, validate all the great knowledge she put out there for you, and it really is fun. It's fun and it's social and it's educational and it's not infotainment. It's actual information, and that's
knowledge.
knowledge. What a
Yeah.
concept.
Yes, love it. Tim, thank you so much for always bringing these great opportunities to us here on Coffee on the Coast so that we can share it with the community on how they can plug in and do more and learn more and be more. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, well, thank you for having me here so very, very often. At least I'm not wearing the same outfit that I sent you in the promo picture. I Believe it or not, I actually thought about that as I was getting ready for work this morning. I'm like, don't wear the black t-shirt and the green plaid shirt. Don't do it. You like it, but don't do it.
There's an unexpected service of the coolest coast, right? We help you
Exactly.
make
Making
fashion
the dress just
choices.
a little better. No, but
That is
I
awesome.
definitely, I can't tell you how much I appreciate, how you always help us to get the word out about the programs and events and new initiatives. As I'll put a plug in for maybe tune in at 3:30 today to learn about something great that's happening at the library. That's all I'm going to say. Just tune in.
Just tune in. We are so fortunate here on the coolest coast to have access to all of these library resources. Keep up the great work, Tim. Looking forward to seeing you next time. And thanks everybody for tuning into this episode of Coffee on the Coast. Take care.
All right. Thank you.